not even on the hook. Look at that. That's how effective these baits are. He did not even eat the hook. He was hanging off of it. Oh my God, there's a bass. Okay, so right where I'm sitting right now, just last week, just a couple days ago, was completely underwater. And not just once, but at least twice, maybe more than that, because it rained a handful of times last week. So I don't know how the fishing is going to be today. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find anything. I don't know if there's anything's going to bite. The water receded, it's back down to normal. Most of the mud should be drying up by now, although I can see some that's still wet. But anyway, today I'm out here. I'm going to be doing some side-by-side comparisons of the baits that I make compared to their alternatives, the ones that I'm trying to replace. The reason I started making these baits is because I got tired of spending so much money on things, and some of the stuff I use a lot is getting harder and harder to find, so I needed a replacement. And number one thing that's harder and harder to find that I need a replacement for is this, the Thin Senko. The guy that I get them from, the manufacturer of them, is running low on stock and they're not making anymore. So this is what started throwaway baits. I was trying to find a replacement for this, and I made a mold off of one of these. It was an open pore mold that didn't really work out. The baits came out kind of ugly. I mean, the baits worked, they caught fish, but they came out kind of ugly. And the mold being made out of plaster is not a good long-term solution, especially trying to do a industrial or commercial mold. I was only able to make one at a time, and I was only able to make so many before the mold started messing up. But I was able to find the mold for these. This is what I'm calling the flick stick, and it's not exactly the same. It's a little bit thinner. It's a little bit thinner and a little bit shorter, about half an inch shorter and just a tiny bit thinner. But I've been using these and I seem to be having better luck on these than I do on the Thin Senkos. So the flick stick versus the Thin Senko is one of the comparisons there. All the ones that I use are kind of defective, so these aren't necessarily good examples of it. This is an open pore paddle tail swim bait that's 2 inches long. I was trying to create a replacement for the Runkle ones that I used to use. I'm not affiliated with Runkle anymore and their stuff. I'm not sure what's going on with Runkle. They might be trying to make a comeback, but they kind of disappeared for a while. But here's their 2-inch paddle tail ribbed swim bait. So they're not exactly the same. This is not ribbed, but they are about the same size and a similar profile. Mine has a slightly bigger profile. These are not actually the Runkles. These are Proberos, which is another popular up-and-coming Chinese brand showing up all over Amazon and eBay. And on top of the Proberos and the throwaway baits one, I also have a Eurotackle one. Eurotackle is the one that Extreme Philly Fishing uses. So it's the same length, but it's an even slimmer profile than this one is. So I'm going to compare those three. I have come up with my own test to judge the efficiency on and the effectiveness of lures. And what I do is I'll tie one on, I'll throw it out, and I will use it until I get 5 strikes on it from fish. And I'll do that with each bait, and I'll compare those 5 strikes and the results to each other. I'll take into consideration how long it takes to get those 5 strikes, but also how many of those 5 strikes result in landing a fish. Now that's really more of a judgment on the hooks, and I'm going to be using the same hooks for all of them, but it's not always just about the hooks. Sometimes certain baits get a better hookup on the same hooks than other baits. So 5 strikes for each one, and I'm going to be comparing how many of those 5 strikes land a fish and how long it takes to get those 5 strikes. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. 323, starting this challenge with the small fry 2-inch swim bait. There's some fish there, looks like cichlids. And considering that I'm at a small creek throwing small swim baits, I'm not expecting them to be all bass. I'm expecting some sunfish and panfish. Oh. I don't know if that was a bite or he just accidentally swam into the line. But let's go. Oh. Is that a bite? There's one. Got him. One bite, one fish. What do we got? It's a green sunfish, I think, or warmouth, whatever you guys want to call it. There we go. One bite, one fish on the 2-inch small fry swim bait. That's pretty good. I only took, what, 2 casts? Oh, there we go, another bite, and that's another fish. 2 casts back to back. I think it's the same species, but it's a totally different color. The other one was more stripy, but there you go. Wow. I'm just throwing along that bank over there. There's another one. That one's biting nice. 3 bites, 3 fish. Oh, this one's got different colors on it too. It's got a lot of pink and orange in those fins. This is a very pretty fish. Not usually a fan of green sunfish, but I kind of like this one. Three bites, 3 fish on 3 casts. It's kind of crazy. Well, back to back to back casts anyway. Technically 4 casts. Didn't get a bite that time. There's a bass chasing it. There's a bass following it. Had a bass following it. That's interesting. It wasn't a very big bass, but it was a bass. So they're mixed in here with these sunfish. Oh. Okay, there's the 4th bite. I did not hook that one. 3 out of 4. It's not bad. That one I threw it and he picked it up and carried it by the tail into the roots over there. Or was that a bite? It's got, I'm gonna count it as a bite, say I lost it. There was stuff on the hook, so I might have been snagged, but I was dead sticking it, so when it's not moving, stuff should be not pulling if it's a snag. There we go, there's 5th bites right there. 5 bites. Oh, 3 out of 5. That was 5 bites. That last one, he was just picking at it though, nibbling at it. I think I could have. Oh, he pulled the tail on the 5th bite. But that's, I mean, that's a flaw in the defective ones. There's like an air bubble got into the plastic and kind of made the tail a little weak. That's why I keep these instead of selling them. But there you go. 5 bites, 3 fish, and I think that last one I probably could have caught him, or if I'd fished it a little bit differently, I think I could have done better. But that's not bad. 3 out of 5. Let's get the one of the other swim baits now. Now I've got the Proberos, aka Runkle, aka Chinese ribbed swim bait. 2-inch swim bait. Now this is a smaller profile, and because of that I think it's actually going to do better than mine. I'm not expecting it to do better than mine because I think it is better than mine, I'm just saying it's a smaller profile and these are sunfish, so it's going to draw more strikes. I don't know if that was a bite or not, so I'm not going to count it. If I can't tell, I'm not going to count it. Oh, that, oh, I can't tell if that was a bite or a snag. It does have pretty good movement. These Chinese ones, they're pretty solid. These little rib swim baits, they are solid. Can't go wrong with them. There we go. There's, oh, I got the fish that time. So that, oh, he came off. So there's one bite, but 0 fish. We can't blame it on the hook because it is the exact same hook I was using before. So. Also, I forgot to check how long it took. It did not take very long at all to get those other bites. It took 5 minutes to get those 5 bites on the other one. This one I'm starting at 3:30. That should strike or generate a strike right there. That is a snag. So I just broke off. Okay, I've got 1 confirmed bite so far. That was a bite. 2 bites, no fish. Which is, I mean, this is going to be drawing strikes from smaller fish too, because it is a smaller profile, so maybe they're just not big enough to get the hook. It is also taking longer to generate those bites, because by now I already had the 5 bites on the other bait. I've only got 2 so far on this. There we go. That's right in the bank. That should have a fish on it already. No, nothing. And I'm snagged. Did I get it back? Alright, I think I got it back. Let's see. And I am using the jig heads that I make for throwaway baits. Oh, that's a good cast. Nothing. Is that a fish? There we go. Oh, he came off. 3rd bite, and I lost him again. This is the same hook. I don't know why they're slipping off. That's too bad. That was a nice one too, though. So the same area. See if there's another one over there. 3 bites, no fish. Where mine on the same hook had 3 fish out of 5. I really thought I was gonna land that one. He slipped off though. Nothing. Wow, it is taking so much longer to get these bites, and I haven't landed one yet. That's crazy. I thought this was gonna do better. I don't know what's going on. I thought maybe I was generating strikes from smaller fish, but that last fish was bigger than anything I caught on the other one. I can't believe I haven't caught anything on it. That's crazy. Oh, there we go. I got one that time. That one feels pretty good. There we go. It took 4 bites to get my first fish. So obviously in this testing, the small fry did better, but that might be the same fish I caught on the small fry, same colors and everything. These are very effective baits. I don't know why it's doing so badly, but there you go. 1 fish on 4 bites. See if I get one more bite, and then we'll move on to the Eurotackle. Is that a, I don't know if that was a bite or a snag. It was on there for so long. It might have been a bite, but I can't confirm it, so I'm not going to count it. trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. We're already coming up on 3 times the length of time to get the 5 bites on the first one. There we go. That's 5th bite right there. He's running. Oh, but he dropped it. But that was it. He was running with it pretty good. So there you go. 5 bites, but only 1 fish. Now we're on to the Eurotackle. I want to say it's called the B-Vibe or something like that. It's ribbed, but it's kind of flat rather than just round. And it's a smaller profile, so slightly darker color, so maybe it'll generate some more bites too. I don't know. But the other one, the first one took like 5 minutes to get the 5 bites. The second one took 15 minutes. Let's see how this one does. Can't quite cast it as far. Oh, something's running with it. He picked it up, but he didn't get the hook, so that's 1 bite. There we go. There we go. 2 bites. Got 1 fish on the B-Vibe from Eurotackle. Two bites, 1 fish. Oh, that was a bite because I watched him do it. So that's 3 bites, one fish on that cichlid. Oh, I just noticed he bit the tail. The tail's missing. This is my last one too, so I'm gonna have to give him a rating of, I mean, that's 4 bites for 1 fish, so it's inconclusive, but it's pretty close. I think it did a little bit better than the Proberos one because it only took about half the time to get the same amount of bites, or get the 4 bites anyway. So there we go. Put those away for now. And then we're going to start working on the other one, but we're going to move to another spot to test out the sticks. I'm going to use the bite to catch, or the catch to bite ratio as like a star rating, you know. So my small fry Swimbait is 3 out of 5. The B-Vibe, I'm going to say it was 1 out of 5. Because I didn't get the 5th bite, but it got the bites a lot quicker than the Proberos did, which I believe also only caught 1 fish, so that's also a 1 out of 5. So I'm gonna give the B-Vibe a 2. I'm gonna say that's a 2 out of 5. The Proberos gets 1 out of 5. Eurotackle gets 2 out of 5, and the throwaway baits small fry gets 3 out of 5. Now we're moving on to the stick baits. This one's the OG Thin Senko, and I'm going to be doing the same thing and comparing it to the flick stick. I am starting the Thin Senko at 4 o'clock. We're going to see how long it takes to get the 5 bites on it. I don't know if that was a bite, so I'm not going to count it. Like, it has to be a definitive bite, like definite, no question about it. There's a bite. Oh, he came off. I saw him. There was a bite. That's 1 bite. Oh, there's 2 bites, but he did not get the hook. This is going to be hard to beat because this has almost like the Yamamoto shimmy on the way down. A lot of people complain about the Yamamoto brands because they're not durable, they don't last very long, but it's because it's a softer plastic. That's why it's more effective. That's why it has such a better movement, because it's not as stiff and it's not as hard. That softer plastic just gives it that signature shimmy on the way down, and that's what triggers the bites. That's why they cost more. That's why they're not as durable. Now, of course, mine, the flick sticks, are not as durable because it's a culmination of all the soft plastic brands out there. There's some Yamamoto plastics in there, there's some of these in there, but there's everything else in there too. So it's a little bit more durable, but a little bit more stiff, a little harder. There's, I don't know if that was a bite or if it just hit the bottom. Oh no, that was a bite. Oh, he came off. That was 3 bites, but he came off. Unfortunately, I think the hook I'm using is just a little too big. It's not that big though. I should be catching green sunfish on it. I was thinking that maybe it's too big for the sunfish, but oh, 3 bites, no fish. But it's getting these bites very quickly. I started at 4 o'clock, it is 4:04. So, I started at 4:01, it is 4:04. This one following. Oh, he's on, there we go. A little tiny fish. He's not even on the hook, look at that. That's how effective these baits are. He did not even eat the hook. He was hanging off of it. That was insane. That's how much they want the Thin Senkos. That's how effective Thin Senkos are. You don't even need a hook to catch fish. 4 fish, 4 bites, 1 fish, and it wasn't even hooked. So I've got 0 hookups. So I'm gonna count that as 2. I'm gonna give that one a 2 out of 4 so far, because that was insane. He did not want to let go of it, even bringing him up out of the water and holding him in the air. That was crazy. I've had that happen maybe once or twice before too, and it's always on these Thin Senkos. They're crazy. There's just some things that, even though I'm trying to replace these, they're irreplaceable, or you just can't replicate it. Oh, there's a bite, but I missed him. That was 5. So I'm going to count that as, I'm going to give that one a 2 out of 5. And it was very quickly. It took 5 minutes to get those 5 bites. So Thin Senko, it only got 2 out of 5. Really, it only caught 1 fish, but that 1 fish was not even hooked. So it's just, there's almost no comparisons to it. Like, that's so effective that you don't even need a hook. So that's pretty good. Took 5 minutes, got 2 out of 5, which on my rating scale, 2 out of 5 is not bad so far. Now we're going with the flick stick. As I already showed you the comparison, it's about a ½ inch shorter and a little bit thinner. So maybe the hookup ratio would be a little bit better, but it's still the same hook, so can't say that with any certainty. Also, I still haven't caught any bass yet, but that's all right. The weather's been kind of crazy lately. I haven't been able to catch a bass, so I'm not going to hold it against anything today. Sunfish are fine for today. In fact, once I'm done, I was going to compare some of the other baits, but I don't think I am. So once I'm done comparing these two, I think I'm going to move down and just fish normal and get some highlights for the video. Maybe I'll find some bass out there. But let's go. So that one took 5 minutes. It's now 4:05. Let's see how the flick stick does. Oh, hanging over a tree branch there. Oh, got one. First cast. Got a bite and a fish. Look how fat that little guy is. Wow, he's eating pretty good in here. This is probably the smallest one I've caught so far, but he is so fat. He's the fattest one I've caught so far. Like, look how wide that thing is. It's a golf ball with a tail. So there we go. 1 out of 1 on the flick stick. It's not getting as many bites as quickly, but it might catch more. We'll see. There we go. Oh, and I got him. Okay, 2 fish and 2 bites. There we go. 2 fish on 2 bites. So it's already at least tied the other one. I feel like catching a fish without the hook deserves some bonus points for the Thin Senko. So right now I'm gonna say they're tied, although the Thin Senko already had 5 bites in this amount of time. There's three bites, and I've got the third fish. And that one's not a green sunfish. That one's a hooked badly. Wow. I guess my camera overheated. It wasn't even recording. But I'm at 3 fish on 4 bites. I don't know how much of it was caught on camera, but everything I just said, I don't feel like repeating. God, I said a lot of good information there. I feel like the Thin Senko deserves bonus points for catching a fish on without a hook. So it gets 2 out of 5. So far, this one's got 3 fish on 4 bites, and they're small fish too. So it's not the size of the hook, it's the exact same hook I was using on this Thin Senko. So 3 out of 5. I might have to do it again if my camera's messing up, so I don't know how much of it was caught on camera. I don't know what was recorded. Should have been recording, but my camera was not on. And now if it didn't record any, I'm gonna just starting over, because I don't know what was caught on camera and what wasn't, and I don't want it to look like I'm cheating in favor of mine. So I'm starting back at 0. I will say it got 3 fish on 4 bites, but it took 10 minutes to get those 4 bites, where the Thin Senko got 5 bites in 5 minutes. So I'm starting over. Oh, there's a bite. I got the fish. Okay, we're back to 1 of 1. See, these are much smaller fish too, so it's not the hook. I don't know. Wait. Okay, 2 bites, 1 fish. Not that good. The other one, a minute ago, I started off much better. Oh my God, there's a bass. Oh, he snapped me off. I'm gonna count that one because he was hooked for sure. And this line is just bad. Did he snap me off? No, he didn't snap me off. He took the bait though. That sucks. I thought he snapped me off, but I guess it's not as bad as being snapped off. That was a good bass though. I'm gonna go ahead and count that one because it was such a solid sized bass. I just, for whatever reason, he slipped the hook. So now we're what, 2 for 3 on the flick stick. 2 out of 3. And right now that makes them about tied. It seems as though the Thin Senko will generate more bites in a shorter amount of time, but not necessarily, or I don't know, we'll see. It's only been a few minutes, so this might be equally as effective as the Thin Senko. Like that was, I didn't get a bass on the Thin Senko, that's for sure, and I was casting in that same area. So I don't know how he got off the hook, but he did. I'm gonna count that because it was a large bass. And obviously I didn't set the hook right or something, but I can't blame that on the bait because he ate it for sure. I think if anybody else was here, that would have been a hookup and a landed fish. So I'm gonna count that the same way I'm counting that 1 sunfish for the Thin Senko as 2. So right now they're tied at 2 apiece. There we go. That was a bite. I can't argue that. I was hoping to get better results. I had much better results earlier in the segment that did not get recorded. But in the spirit of fairness, we're not counting that section because I don't know what was recorded and what wasn't. I think I've kind of fished out this area, so it might be smarter to move on. But we'll see. Oh, there's a fish. That is fighting hard. It's a cichlid. Wow, that's pretty cool. That, oh my God, that's a trophy cichlid right there. I'm gonna have to get some, I think that's a big male. Oh, look at that, 9, just under 9.5. I might have to submit this as a water body record here. 9.25. Not quite. That is trophy class. That would qualify for a big fish award. Anything over 9 inches, but I'm not going to bother submitting that for any kind of a record. That's a nice cichlid. And that puts the flick stick slightly ahead of the Thin Senko. So yeah, there you go. I got 3 out of 5. I'm gonna say those are pretty evenly matched, and it's a solid replacement for a bait that's getting harder and harder to find and more expensive. With that being said, let's go ahead and just go see how many bass I can catch before I need to leave. Something's got it. Wow. Oh, he pulled me off the hook. Damn. But I had a sunfish pull me off the hook, but as I was fighting with him, the bass started chasing him. Oh, landed over there by something. Oh, a big wake just took off after it. Is he? I got him. I think it's a bass. Yep. Here we go. Little one, but he's pretty healthy. All right, so I'm gonna let those results speak for themselves. My point system, the small fry 2-inch swim bait, was 3 out of 5 in about 5 minutes, while the more traditional rib 2-inch paddle tail swim bait was it 1 out of 5 in about 15 minutes, and then the Eurotackle was 2 out of 5 in about 10 minutes. So those, I think the results kind of speak for themselves there. They're probably all pretty even, honestly. And then for the stick baits, the Thin Senko was, I got 2 out of 5, which technically I only landed 1 fish, but that fish wanted it so bad he didn't even eat the hook. So I brought him up the whole time. He just had the tail in his mouth and didn't want to let go. So I think that was worth 2 points. So 2 out of 5 in about 10 minutes, or no, that was 5 minutes. It's pretty quick. But the flick stick was 3 out of 5. I counted the bass even though it slipped off the hook, just because that bass was pretty sizable. It was pretty decent. And I caught a trophy size Rio Grande cichlid and some green sunfish. The flick stick, I think, is a very suitable replacement for the Thin Senko. That's getting harder to find and more expensive. So that's the goal. That was what I wanted to do. I wanted to make something that I could have confidence in, and I didn't have to spend so much money, so I'm making them myself. I'm not sure what's in stock on the website, but there might be a couple of packs of them. They come in packs of 8 for about $3. The 3-inch rippers come in a pack of 5 for about $3. The 2-inch small fry come in a pack of 10 for $3. Everything's about $3 except for like the variety packs where there's more stuff in them. Those are like $5. Be sure you check out CheapAngler.us if you're interested in any of that. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Out by the old creek, just me and my line. Got a rusty old hook and a can full of time. Dollar store lures and some worms on the side. Fishing on a dime with that cheap angler pride.